So how do character designers take concepts from sketchpad to video game? We decided to hold a make-your-own-character contest where the winner would have a chance to see his or her creation immortalized in, well, pixels. Over 300 entries poured in, and our 5 judges with their backgrounds in art direction, 3D modeling, programming, and production spent an entire day going over each and every one. But when the desk cleared, it was E.R.A.D, designed by Ron Marchigona of Bethesda, Maryland, who was the victor. In this segment, our 3D modelers will bring E.R.A.D to polygonal life through a series of steps.
The first thing we did was we scanned this image and brought it into Photoshop to prepare it for 3D. I took the scan and inverted it to make it easier for me to model in 3D Studio. I started with the leg, and essentially what I did was I took a box and I made it transparent enough so I could see the lines behind the box. By simply pushing and pulling vertices, I'm able to manipulate the box and make a totally new shape. Vertices are basically points in 3D that actually trace the outline of polygons, and polygons are the big red and gray filling between vertices. And then we do the same thing with the other segments. All the segments had a unique model made from a simple box, and as you can see, we have a completed leg. We hide the background so we can see what it looks like with all of its polygons. And we see that, yeah, it looks a lot like the drawing. And then I went ahead and started defining more of the shape of the actual head based on the background drawing here. I basically just started with a simple box like before and started to make the front of the nose by pushing and pulling vertices. I started making the faces for the cockpit, and I did a simple extrusion of the faces. As you can see, they grow to give them volume and depth. And then I did a little bevel just so it's got some roundness to it. Then I started working on the turrets by simply doing the same thing I did with the cockpit, which was taking this initial shape here and just extruding and rotating to build basically this. And then I created the joints for the legs to fit, and that way the leg will have something to fit in. And if we move the dragon to where this drawing shows, he's pretty darn close. And here we have the finished head, and as you can see, without smoothing groups, the model looks kind of marshmallowy and soft, and we don't want him to be soft. We want him to be really hard-skinned, armored vehicle that's allowed to take some damage as well as give it. So we added smoothing groups to it. We built the rest of the dragon the same way we built the head and the legs, simply by building boxes, pulling and pushing vertices, and turning and rotating edges and scaling. Now the nice thing was that the legs were really similar to each other. So what we did was we simply just copied them and we mirrored them to the other side. We did the same thing with the wings, and here we have the finished model without textures. Here he is in wireframe mode. Nice, pretty clean model. After the model's been built, we start to texture it. So in order to make them look real and used, I had to go ahead and add combat scoring like carbon from explosions and battle scars and grease in the joints and random dirt details. This is the final textured version, and it's ready to be animated. You'll notice that the wings aren't filled in because the programmers fill them in with programmatic polys that are able to slide and bend and stretch according to the animation of the bones of the wing. Now that we have our initial position, we begin to create keys for each skeletal joint. Here are the keys that I've created, and here is the in-betweens that the computer created for me. Nice fluid animation. So the process from drawing through animation took close to 60 hours to complete. Here's E.R.A.D with his final animations, ready to be exported to the programmer.
So my job is to take the max file once it's complete and export it and generate some code that does some special purpose animation that enables us to control the final model once it's over on the PlayStation side. So now we can control it just like we would a character in a game. For example, I can move the camera around and look at it from different angles, and then I'll press X again, and it will land back on its little pedestal there. Something else that we've added in is the ability to fire the weapons and then some sound effects. So those are the kind of details that we add in after the fact that sort of bring a model to life.
There you have it. Start with any idea, turn it into vertices, triangles, and textures, then move it using intense mathematical computation. You can go anywhere you want. Our time spent building E.R.A.D was so much fun, we decided to build a few more of the runner-up designs from the contest. What do you think? This is the development world of PlayStation 2. Our series, Dev 101, has shown you 4 ways in the last 4 issues to get a taste of it. Where you go from here is up to you. But as you know, there's a world of other gamers out there hungry for the next great title, and it might just come from you.